What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Strong Shot Archery Reviews. We're the most unbiased and objective reviews, so my personal preference doesn't affect your money. Today, we are doing another bow comparison, but this time we are doing it with two brand new bows from the same company. These are the Hoyt REDWRX Carbon RX3 and the Hoyt Helix. These are two fairly similar bows, but I'm going to go in depth and show you all the contrasts that I found. As always, before we get started, I just want to give a quick thank you to Bear Creek Archery for sponsoring this video and also providing both the bows in this video. They're a local range in Denver, Colorado, and they just got these bows in stock. So if you're looking into a new 2019 Hoyt bow, make sure to check out Bear Creek Archery or check out their website at bearcreekarchery.com. Also, a quick thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are making these videos possible for everyone. If you're looking to improve your shooting, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be making videos on form tips, tuning methods, everything. I've also been asked about doing online coaching. So if you're working on your form and you want some feedback to get you to the next level, shoot me an email in the email in the description and we can talk about that. Now on to the reason that all you guys are here, the Hoyt REDWRX Carbon RX3 and the Hoyt Helix. Before I get into the differences, I'll start with the similarities so you know what these bows share. And there's a ton of the basic specs that are exactly the same. Both these bows have an axle-to-axle of 30.5 inches, which is fairly small compared to Hoyt's recent flagship hunting bows, like the Carbon RX1. The brace height for these bows are 6 inches, but let's turn to see if these bows will fit you. I'm guessing they will since they have such a huge range of both draw lengths and draw weights. The draw lengths for the RX3 are 25 to 28 inches for the number 2 cam and 27 to 30 inches for the number 3 cam. For the Helix, it has a range of 24.5 inches to 28 inches and 27 inches to 30 inches for the 2 separate cams. As you can tell, these draw lengths are practically the same, but if you have a 24.5 inch draw length, today is your lucky day because the Helix will fit you perfectly according to the Hoyt website. When it comes to draw weight ranges, both bows are available from 30 to 80 pounds. Let's move our attention to the cams. Both these bows have the ZT Pro cam, so they'll both have the exact same draw force curve. Comparing this new cam to last year's RX1, you can see the changes that they've made. This year, the updated cam has trimmed down on some of the power on the front and back of the draw in order to give it a smoother, more controllable feel. The main thing to understand is that these bows are sharing the exact same cams, limbs, and limb pockets. And since they are set at the exact same specs for axle-to-axle and brace height, they're both going to give you the same power result, which comes in at an advertised ATA speed of 343 feet per second. To wrap the list of similarities up, the dampening on these bows are almost the same, but slightly denser than last year's dampeners on the RX1. So in the end, when we compare the specs and features of these bows, a lot of it is the same. So pretty much what we're doing is we're looking at two separate risers with a lot of the same parts. That being said, let's look at how these risers are different. First is of course that the RX3 is a carbon composite riser and the Helix is all aluminum. That's the main difference between these bows. The carbon fiber brings the bare bow weight of the RX3 down to 3.9 pounds, while the aluminum frame of the Helix weighs in at 4.3 pounds. So we're talking about a half-pound difference. But aside from the weight, the other concern is the geometry of these bows. So let's take a look at that. When we overlay the bows, you can see that they're practically the same. This makes sense since they share many of the basic specs like the brace height and axle-to-axle. Even with the difference in materials, when I measured the balance points, they came out almost identical as well. One thing that these bows do not share in common is the rear stabilizer mount. The front stabilizer mount is in the exact same position, but the rear stabilizer mount is where they really differ. For the RX3, the rear mount is right next to the string stop, rejecting the possibility of adding a V-bar mount. The Helix rear mount is lower, so you have the option of having a V-bar mount. The chances of wanting a V-bar mount are slim to none, but it's still a positive thing to have it. Let's move on to my favorite part of every video I do, the grip. The grips share the exact same grip angle at 17 degrees, which is the common grip angle for most Hoyt bows. Both grips thicknesses are both the same at about a 1/4 inch thicker than last year's RX1 grip. One way these grips differ is the shape. You can see that the RX3 has the new grip design and the Helix grip looks a lot more like the RX1 grip. The RX3 has something brand new that I've never seen before. This is the brand new lateral grip adjustment. This can compensate for the natural torque that everyone has. I've already talked about this in my other RX-3 video, so I don't want to drag on or repeat myself, but aside from the riser, this is probably one of the major differences between these two bows. Both bows are using the exact same vibration dampening, but let's see how the vibration varies from the two different risers. As you can see from these graphs, the RX-3 and Helix seem to have a similar peak vibration, but the Helix seems to be slightly larger. My belief is that this is from how the carbon riser absorbs vibration. The carbon riser seems to dissipate the vibration faster than the aluminum riser. This is without stabilizers or any third-party dampening, so just because one bow has more vibration than the other doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I grabbed one of my old target bows, stripped off all the dampening and stabilizers, and no, I'm not going to tell you what bow it is, but here are the results without anything. This is as loud as this bow could be with it still in tune. Now that we have that data, let's see what would happen if we add a simple stabilizer to it. And no, it's not an expensive stabilizer, it's just a cheap one that I won as a door prize at a tournament. So let's see what happens. You can see that just a stabilizer can help with vibration dampening. Look at how both the size of the hand shock drops, as well as the length of time that the vibration continues. So you can imagine if you have just a basic stabilizer and other dampening materials, you can really make a difference in how your bow feels. The only negative part about needing to put on the extra dampening products is adding weight to the bow. And depending on the archer, this could be a big problem or not important at all. Your first concern should always be how well the bow settles. There's so much you can do with vibration, so just keep in mind that it'll add extra weight to the bow. Finally, the last big difference that I think a lot of people noticed is the price. The MSRP on the RX-3 is $1,699, while the Helix has an MSRP of $1,199. That's a huge $500 difference. What you're gaining with the extra $500 is a new grip design that is capable of being laterally adjusted, a lighter riser since the RX-3 is carbon, and lastly, you'll have a quieter bow with less vibration and shock. These are two high-quality bows from a top-tier brand with a huge price difference. The bows share a lot in common, from components to specs like the ZT Pro Cam, limbs, limb pockets, axle, brace height, roller cable slide, and the dampeners, so they are extremely similar bows. The differences are simple: the riser materials, the grip, the performance of the dampening, and the price. The first question you should ask yourself when choosing between these two bows is weight a deciding factor for you? There is roughly a half of a pound difference in weight, which doesn't sound like much, but every ounce matters when you're hiking with a bow in your hand. So if having a light bow is a necessity, the RX-3 would have the advantage. Next is onto the dampening. Having a quiet bow can really be important, and both of these bows are fairly quiet, but the RX-3 is quieter than the Helix because of its carbon riser. These vibration specs are just starting points. There's so much you can do with vibration, so you could just add a stabilizer or other third-party dampening products. Finally is the grip. When buying the Helix, you will be missing out on the new lateral adjustment that the RX-3 provides. This could be really helpful, especially if you're looking for one more way to remove torque from your bow. So if these features are worth the additional cost, the Helix might be the bow for you. But if you really desire the latest and greatest, a bow that is light, quiet, and adjustable, the RX-3 could be your bow. In the end, when you're walking into your range, you need to be thinking about 4 things: weight, grip, vibration, and credit card balance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out my Patreon link down below, and the Matthews Verdicts is coming out soon, so make sure to subscribe because I'm 100% going to do a review on that bow. And click that bell icon so you can get notified whenever I post that video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.